Welcome to a breezy and chilly Detroit, Michigan. The Toronto Raptors getting set to take on the Pistons. And Sherm, before we look at the Pistons, we must look back at an absolutely unbelievable performance by the Raptors. And I would argue maybe the best performance of all time by an individual and a team in that situation. Kyle Lowry was tremendous as the Raptors defeated the Cavaliers the other night.
Yeah, the gravity of the situation, you know, the playoff atmosphere that it had, and the way that Kyle and the Raptors rose to the occasion. I mean, Kyle was phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, he made every play that they needed him to make. You know, from a defensive perspective, he was consistent offensively, scoring the basketball, finding teammates. He did everything on a night where DeMar DeRozan just didn't have it because he was under the weather. And having said that, I think some other guys really gained some stripes in that game. A guy like Patrick Patterson, Terrence Ross, who was offensively good. You know, Bismack Biyombo, 5 for 5. So in that type of environment, with everything that's on the line, you want to try and emulate the most intense situations you can, and you want to have success. And I thought the Raptors did a great job of stepping up to the challenge against the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Kyle Lowry, phenomenal. Career high 43 points, and the little man showed us his entire game. He was great defensively, as you said, Sherm. He showed us a three-point shot on the offensive end. How about the game-time bucket where he posted up? He went from, on one play, he went from a 6-foot point guard to a 7-foot center by posting up Dellavedova and scoring down low. But Sherm, as Dwayne Casey said in the postgame, this means nothing if we stub our toe against Detroit.
Well, I think what he's trying to get across is, hey, that's a great win. Enjoy it for the night, time to move on. And I think that's what great teams do. They understand how important it is to stay consistent and to understand that it's not about riding the waves, playing that roller coaster of emotions. It's about staying even keeled, understanding the game plan. And let's face it, for the Raptors, it's about getting better every single time they step on the floor. And if they're to improve on that game against Cleveland, then Detroit should have some problems.
Well, you know, Detroit beat Cleveland less than a week ago, Sherm, on February 22nd. But the Raptors 2-0 this year against Detroit in the season series. One game, they almost let a big lead slip away in the fourth quarter, and in the last win, they built a big lead in the fourth quarter and pulled away to win. They've got to find some measure of consistency if they're going to take the game again, the next game against Detroit.
Well, you're right, and you think about the game against Cleveland. The third quarter, the Raptors came out flat, and Dwayne Casey had to use a quick timeout and rejig his team. Having said that, in order to build and get better, you have to be more consistent through 4 quarters. And so far against Detroit, they've had some good moments, and they've had some moments that weren't so good. Now it's about time to even it out and play 4 quarters, 48 minutes of consistent basketball, because this Detroit team is not going anywhere. They play hard, they're physical, they've got a monster down low in Drummond who's going to create all kinds of issues. And their perimeter is very skilled. They're young, but they're skilled and they're tough-minded defensively. So the challenges are going to be there, but I think the Raptors, in terms of the way that they're approaching the last 25 or so games of the season, have to prove that they're the better team.
Well, and there's still the specter of Detroit maybe as a playoff opponent in the first round. You can see the game 6 o'clock Sunday night on Sportsnet 1 and hear it at that same time on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.